Today, though, we're joined by a few new guests. Introduce yourselves.
My name is Frank. First time doing one of these casts. Thank you very much. And looking forward to seeing what everyone else has to talk about for the night. And maybe we can recap and just
talk mad
talk
shit.
mad shit. That's all it is, man. I didn't know if we're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, especially
You know.
especially today.
especially today, there seems to be a lot of tension about certain things going on. So
When is
everyone
the-
has their 2 cents, and I'm really glad that everyone can do that tonight. So
And also with us is...
Hello, I'm Laura. I'm an avid gamer. I'm really into anime and manga. I read comic books. I do Comic-Con, cosplay, all sorts of things. So I'm just really looking forward to getting into the conversation and hearing what everyone has to say about the great world of comics.
All right, and we're going to start off this bit right now. Arrow.
Yeah.
Just came back last night.
Yes, it did.
I've... Since last time we talked about Arrow, it was Jared, Derek, and myself.
Yep.
They had been watching up until that point. I hadn't started. I have to say, I've now watched every episode twice. First, all the way through by myself, and then again catching my girlfriend up. And oh my god, that show is so good.
So good.
You actually watched that show on the island because I see you got the bill.
Yeah. I'd had to trim it a little bit because I
Very
didn't
nice,
want to
very
get to Jose territory.
That's why we're
That's his beard.
He's year 5 on the island.
No, but yeah, like I think Sam posted on our page, like he's not here with us today, so he's in a better place, actually.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He's not in a better place.
he's in another island.
But yeah, like a lot of people when they heard about Arrow, including myself, I think at a San Diego Comic-Con like 2 years ago maybe.
Mm-hmm. 2 years.
I was like, fuck that. In the CW, nah, that show's gonna be whack. And like a whole season went by, and Jared was always talking about how good it was. That's another guy who's not here today. But yeah, we're gonna do blackface. Apparently that's wrong.
I feel like if we put a plate of chicken out, he'll show up.
No, that's for Isaac.
He won't show
There
up.
is no
It'll be-
chicken.
It'll be gone.
Right, no, but yeah, Jared was the one that kind of like
Yeah, for like he
carried that flag.
he kept
definitely.
campaigning for
And,
it.
and
He
you
was like,
have
"Watch
to
it."
because it takes a while to get good.
Yes,
it takes at least
does.
about 14 episodes before.
For you, it takes
Starts
at
getting
least.
into
Because I'll tell you, when I first
Into
started
the
watching
nitty-gritty.
it, I could be reading a book, I could be doing other things. I'll be like halfway paying attention, and I would be fine. And then it gets to the point with the island where they introduce Slade and everything, where you start to pay closer attention.
Just quickly, Slade's everyone's favorite character, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes? No?
Slade.
I mean, I was going to say Felicity, but whatever.
No, but
yeah. Okay, so let me
No, no.
if you don't mind.
No,
I think everyone. There's a lot of people who feel the same way that Jose did when it came to Arrow being announced at Comic-Con 2 years ago, and I was one of those people where I'd go to work and on the New York City subway, and you'd see billboards and posters of just Arrow coming soon on CW, and
that's when he wore a shirt. I think,
yeah,
on the
that was the
Oh,
one where
yeah,
that
yeah.
was the one where he wore the shirt,
He
and
wore
then
the
the
hoodie.
next
They don't
one,
wear shirts
Not
anymore.
he doesn't wear shirts anymore. But
Not even Diggler.
but the thing is that when you see that, you're just like you look at the guy's face on the billboard, and you're just like, it's just another pretty boy, behind a mask, and
another Chris
it's
O'Donnell lookalike.
aimed towards like like everything that we know about CW or WB or whatever it was. Channel 11 itself was all like Gossip Girl, 90210, Beverly Hills, all this garbage. Teeny bopper shit. So when you see,
Smallville
when
was
you're like,
not
I've never watched
It was
Smallville.
after like the 3rd season. I was like, fuck Smallville.
Listen,
And
man.
I know Superman.
Man, fuck Kryptonite. But when you see that, you associate that with everything else that they've put out on TV. So when it comes down to, when it came down to it, my boy, who's actually a fan of the group, he rarely posts anything up. But he
Got lots of those.
he
The Watchers.
he told me he's like yo, season 1 is on Netflix. You should really watch it. It's actually really good. I'm like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, man. It's like it's not like he's like Agents of Shield or anything like that. He's like Agents of Shield. It's like there's a bunch of nobodies. The only one that's there is Phil, and it's like I watched 8 episodes of it, and then I just lost track
His
of it.
first name is Agent.
His name is Agent. Okay. His name is not Coulson, it's Agent. Agent Phil. Fear. But you know, so I decided to sit down and watch like the first 3 episodes, and I got hooked. I was just reeled right in, and I said, this is actually well plotted out. They don't spend so much time on flashbacks. They don't spend so much time on different. On one.
They
thing.
go back and forth, right?
They
No,
go
that-
back and
I
forth.
think
but-
there was one episode that they stayed on the island for a while,
Yeah.
but it was like Slade all the time.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I was
Oh
like,
yeah. That was
Yeah,
that was
baby,
when.
Slade.
And this is what I brought up was that when you see him take off his mask and you're like, holy shit, it's the guy from it's Crixus
Yeah, I
from
was gonna say, did anyone
Spartacus.
watch Spartacus before?
I'm like, how have you never watched
Yeah,
Spartacus?
as soon as I
If
watched
you
the
don't know
show, I
who
was
this
like,
guy is, this guy's a freaking like a genius with a sword, and they got the best guy to play Deathstroke.
Kill them
Right
all.
then and there, man, that dude just like schooled him, gladiator style with a sword. The first time, I was just like, that's it, man. Like, I got to sit down and watch the rest of this. Now I only have 2 more episodes left to watch, and
Of season 1.
of
Yeah.
season 1, like I previously posted in the page that season 2, I don't know how long it'll take, but it's definitely got my
3 days.
attention. It's no. I mean, how long it's gonna take when they put it on Netflix or
Oh, okay.
anywhere else? They only have season 1,
I
so
think that's why.
Stick around for afterwards. I'll just give it to you on them.
Yeah.
Like when I noticed that it was on Netflix, that's when I started watching it. Like I think I just had finished with I don't know. I was finished watching a show, and then I was like, let me try Arrow, and I was not the thing that kept me on that show the most, besides Slade, was the little Easter eggs, the little stuff they have that only like the real fans would pick up and be like yesterday.
There's just tons of fans there.
I don't care. I don't care if you haven't seen it.
whatever.
But they who was it? Laurel.
Laurel was going through the mail.
She was going through
Yeah,
the mail, and
yeah.
I see on the letter like Saint Walker, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know what that is.
But that's not to say that they don't fall into some of the CW traps.
Oh, they
They
do.
do.
Because
they
they do.
absolutely
Laurel.
do.
And
Cool, yeah.
and sometimes I actually like the flashbacks on the island
Yeah.
more than the present day stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the present day stuff, there's no Laurel. There's no what's the
There's no-
sister's
I mean, the
name?
flashback
Thea.
stuff.
What's the
no.
Thea.
sister's
Thea.
There's no Thea. And it's the family parts is like family drama that really I think held it back for like the first part of the first
Yeah,
season.
like season 2 is just Arrow Unleashed. Basically, it's like it's taking him a little bit, but like from what we've seen, especially what's gonna happen next week, depends on when this show airs. But Deathstroke and Slade and
The crazy thing too, and before we like wrap up this first half of talking about Arrow, because we're gonna do 2 parts on it, because it's just too much to talk
Yeah.
about. The crazy thing though is like there's so much that they can do with Slade. Like they've very, very subtly introduced the Suicide Squad already by having not only like Deadshot show up in episodes and Bronze Tiger shows up now in season 2, but they've already said Task Force X. That is really hard to say, by the way.
Task Force X.
Yeah, and they've already introduced Amanda Waller. It's like there's so much
I got
there.
super hyped when they introduced
Oh.
her.
do, you,
I
do, you
was
think,
like,
do you think we'll ever see Ra's al Ghul?
Maybe.
Do you think they'll ever introduce him? Like
if
really
they
just show
mention
him?
him,
For
they
them to
can't
name
just
drop
be
like
cock
that?
teasers and be
Yeah.
like Ra's al Ghul, League Shadows. They mention Talia. They
Yeah.
can't just be like they're out there.
They
If they could do
can't
that-
mention magic on
if
the
they,
CW.
if they could do that, then they could say, "Oh, Superman's out there, Batman's out there."
Yeah,
if they
there's no
mention them,
reason. There's no reason it can't fit in with everything else.
No, yeah. If they mention Ra's al Ghul, he's gonna be in there.
They
Especially
could, but
since like
would
now
they want
like,
to?
the League of Assassins is now connected to Merlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Merlin.
Ra's al Ghul's coming.
All right, so this is where we're gonna just put a break in real quick. If we have any more Red Scare trailers, we'll just throw it in or whatever.
Red
But
Scare.
be back right now, real quick with part 2.
Welcome back to CBFU's conversation about Arrow. We started and we started talking about how much it takes a while to get into it, but it really pays off in the end if you stick with it. So let's continue.
I mean, right off the bat, I'd just like to say the casting for the show has been amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have a pretty solid cast, like, you know, the core of Oliver, Diggle, Felicity, and all them. But like,
Diggle!
But episode to
Everyone loves Diggle.
episode, they pull out an actor and actress that you're just like, awesome. You got Summer Glau on there now.
Yeah.
There have been a few odd choices, but they don't ultimately hurt the show.
No.
Like I wasn't the biggest fan of Count Vertigo, but then again,
He grew on me.
it kind of does grow on you, but then it's wrapped up just as you're like, okay, we're past Count Vertigo now.
But if you're gonna use Count Vertigo, I don't understand. I mean, they've already used like Black Canary had that little device to mimic her sonic stream. So why not just have a little device that makes people dizzy or whatever? I don't understand why it had to be like a drug. It just seemed an easy way, and it doesn't. I don't think it makes the villain as much of a threat. Just having him as a drug dealer.
Well, as someone who you not that familiar with Green Arrow as a comic book character,
No,
right?
not as a comic. No.
How would you have interpreted seeing a guy whose power was to make people dizzy? That's why.
When you say it like that, it sounds ridiculous.
Well, no, that's absolutely true. I mean, if you didn't know anything about the comic book and you're approached with the idea, okay, we have this villain and you better be careful. He's gonna make you dizzy. No one's gonna be intimidated by that. People are gonna go, what the hell is this show talking about?
But
That's
he's also
not scary.
European count, so he's very threatening.
Not in this show. Just because he has a European accent doesn't mean he's a European count.
Green Arrow has to aim, so if he's dizzy, that's just...
Yeah, no.
I would have been like, oh no.
That's true.
Ah, shit.
But the for me the most I love Ollie. I love Slade. I think the most surprising casting though throughout the whole show up until now that I'm like excited as hell for is Barry.
And
Yeah.
when we saw pictures of Barry for the first time, everybody was like, "Here we go." Now CW's going back to their roots.
I was like, what are they doing bringing in this kid from Glee? I'm like, who is this kid? And then like the episode starts up, and he has his own little music, and he misses a cab, and I'm like, I'm just watching, and I'm like,
I remember
I'm sitting and thinking, I'm like, don't you dare smile yet, don't do it.
They'll
And
hurt
then
you. They'll hurt
Yeah,
you.
he walks in and like he starts talking. He's like, "No, this was done by one man." And it's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Oh, I'm Barry Allen." I'm like, smile, and I'm like, I love this kid.
No, yeah, like they actually stay true to the comic books and the way like Barry is. Like one of the things about Barry is he's always late to everything, even though he's the Flash. And then the beginning of that episode started with a lightning bolt, and I was like, "Hey, I know where this is going."
It's just a storm all
Yeah,
throughout.
I was so ready to hate that Barry Allen
I
character.
was
I was
too.
so ready to hate him.
But by the end, when he gets struck by lightning, I was like,
That's actually
So-
the first.
yeah.
That was the first Arrow episode I'd seen. I saw like one or two in the first season, but that was the first Arrow episode I actually saw before I started going back.
I was so hyped.
So it was good.
See, I never watched season 2, so I don't know. anything
So
about
this
this,
guy's
but-
just getting it all.
Listen, I'm getting it all. I knew it's bound to happen. I've never followed Green Arrow in the comics as well. I've always pictured him as the guy that looks like a freaking elf and a goatee, and you don't even see his eyes or anything like that. And he doesn't look
Yeah,
like,
like,
he didn't. I
Green
never
Arrow
knew.
has
Was he
never-
always a playboy billionaire or that
More or less.
kind of thing?
Yeah.
He was more of like a Bruce Wayne-ish
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
persona,
He's
just
Bruce Wayne with bow and arrow.
with a bow and
Yeah.
arrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like.
But a
I
little
said-
happier.
Well, in the
happier.
comics, he was way
He
happier.
is
think-
terrible at hiding his secret identity.
Oh,
Yeah.
He is the
horrible.
worst.
It's
Well, I was
terrible.
watching it, and I'm like, he has a hood. He's wearing a hoodie.
But he
Whose
wears
secret identity is hidden by a
Makeup
hoodie?
mascara.
He has
I
a
think
mascara.
I think the
No.
only thing.
No, that could never hurt. All those people know him.
Yeah.
I
All
think
those people know him.
I think the only thing.
turn around like this.
All I know
I
is
think the
like-
only thing that he can hide is his voice. That's all it is. He's like, no.
He
Wait,
keeps
no,
his
you're Ollie Queen. No, I'm not.
Crap! No.
For
Or
me-
not.
Season 2 did actually started very well with like hiding it, because there's like this one shot in the very first episode of season 2 where he catches a guy off the railing after like they kidnap the queen, and all you see is like the whites in like the two white dots in his eyes, and everything else is black under the hood, and you're just like, damn, that's creepy. And it's like you get to the Barry episodes, and now he's wearing the mask, and this last night's episode, and I was watching, I was like, clearly that's Oliver Queen.
No, now he has
Yeah.
a little mask that, by the way, Barry created. He has a little mask, and now he's all
Barry,
brave.
Barry ordered it off the internet for
Yeah,
me.
there you go.
Yeah.
So if anyone
That's
checks
not
his
traceable.
Green
That's not
Arrow
traceable
mask,
at all.
Yeah, that's what it says.
and he's gonna be so embarrassed when he finally calls himself Green Arrow because Malcolm Merlin suggested it, and he said, "No, that's a stupid name." He goes, "Oh, so it's stupid when I said it, but now you're Green Arrow."
No, I love the fact that there's what do you call it? There's moments in the show where, like, as Oliver Queen to his family and friends, he's like, "I won't let anything happen to you,"
Yeah.
and then he just leaves the room, and you're just like wondering, it's like, don't they think like Ollie's a little weird in this kind of
Ever since he came back, he's been doing insane things.
Every time he says, like, nothing bad will ever happen to you again, I'll make sure of it.
Yeah.
Nothing bad ever happens to those people.
I'll protect you. I'll take care of you. And then, how you call it? And then when Roy got that arrow to the knee, that was pretty good. It was like, I'm trying to be you. I'm trying to help you out. I wanna be, like you and help the city. He was like, oh yeah.
Nope. That was actually poor aim on Green Arrow's part because he wasn't aiming for his knee.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Oh, man.
Wait.
You know what I just realized? No one's gonna know Rocket Raccoon's identity.
Oh.
He got nobody.
Look out, Guardians. Look out, Guardians.
Now that he has the mask, now he's all brave, like going up to people like, "What's up?" and like, God damn.
Yeah.
And
I
now,
don't
know.
and now he'll grow a goatee. Wait a minute. Arrow grew a goatee.
No,
and now you have a goatee.
The most brilliant thing is if he gets a fake goatee to be the arrow.
I'll be perfect.
And, like, as Ollie, he's like, clearly I'm not the arrow. Look at that thing.
Oh, we have to go. Just give me a minute.
Well, in year one, Black Canary just wears a wig, so
Over
it's
a
not
blonde
that
wig
crazy.
over blonde hair.
She's doing that.
In the show?
In year one, in the comic book, I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
And it's not too far fetched. If he was like fake beard,
Yeah.
it's not too crazy.
My problem in the show is when he disappears and goes back to the island, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh my God, Oliver Queen's back!" And then suddenly the Green Arrow is back too, and you're just like, no one put two and two together. He was gone for years on an island. He comes back. Suddenly there's this mass vigilante. He disappears. The vigilante disappears. Then they both come back. No one can add.
That's like that meme I saw on the internet where it was just it goes, I'm not saying I'm Batman, it's just that Bruce Wayne and Batman have never been seen together in the same room.
No, but yeah, like Batman, it's the same story with him. Batman was gone for a while. I mean, Bruce Wayne was gone for a while. Then he came back, and suddenly now we have Bruce Wayne and Batman. So
Hey, and Ollie can always still go back to, like, hey, remember that weekend that I was under house arrest and the arrow,
Yeah.
the hood was going
My
around?
nigga Diggle.
That
That's
wasn't
right,
me.
my nigga.
There's a black arrow.
Yeah. And, oh no! And how about Diggle just like straight up showing his face in certain scenarios? Like, don't these people like? There's a point where they
Yeah.
take down like drug dealers, and Diggle's just like he takes off like the ski mask.
Oh
and he's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and you're like, wait a
No.
minute.
He buys the bag, like a bag of the Vertigo drug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
I was
from-
just watching that one tonight, and like he goes in, he looked like he goes in there and he goes, how much you want? He gives him a stack. He's like, oh, that we got you a brick. You know, like
You know what that says? That says the people in Star City are just super racist.
They are. That explains actually a lot. That's a whole season 3 storyline.
Oh, no.
It's the commissioner.
Stop talking shit about Arrow.
But no, we are gonna call. This pretty much wraps up all our talk on Arrow. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're coming up on 20.
great show. Watch it.
Yes.
No, for real, give it a try.
Give
Even
it a
if you're,
shot.
like, on the fence about it, stay with it for a while. You're gonna like it.
Do it for us, and then
Yeah.
tell Stephen Amell that we sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Power through because it does get better.
And we
Yeah.
want him to be on the show. So,
Yes.
so
I want to
yeah.
do the salmon ladder with him. I think I can do it.
I get
wanna
2,
work
and I'm
out-
like,
Salmon ladder. That's that shit.
Just watching him do that exhausts me.
Yeah, for real, man.
all right, but yeah, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, comment down in the comment section below. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
Don't fail this.
There you go.